This information is brought to you by Microdyne Computer Services. Global cybercrime costs are projected to reach $11.88 trillion on a trajectory toward $19.71 trillion by 2030. If cybercrime were a sovereign nation, it would possess the third largest economy in the world, ranking immediately behind the United States and China. This represents a massive shift from the origin of the threat. Decades ago, cyber attacks were manual, human-driven efforts characterized by basic network sabotage and unauthorized access attempts. We have transitioned away from these pure technology disruptions. Modern attacks are now cyber-advanced crimes, engineered specifically to target and extract large-scale financial assets. Because of this macroeconomic scale, security architects must treat modern cybercrime as an industrialized, systemic threat rather than a series of localized incidents. The integration of generative and agentic AI is currently collapsing the historical technical skill floor for attackers. Offensive operations that once required deep human expertise can now multiply across a digital network at machine speed. This democratization allows threat actors with limited coding ability to execute complex, automated campaigns by leveraging pre-built AI exploits. Defending against this requires a transition in architecture, moving away from static, signature-based checkpoints and towards autonomous behavioral analytics. To map this transition, we will trace the evolution of the illicit supply chain, deconstruct offensive AI mechanics, and examine the multi-agent defense models emerging in 2026. This evolution suggests a core reality of modern conflict. The ultimate advantage belongs to whichever side can operationalize autonomous capabilities the fastest. In 2000, the United Nations classified cybercrime through the lens of manual acts, focusing on sabotage, computer espionage, and the unauthorized interception of data. Today, that manual model has been replaced by cybercrime as a service. It's a specialized supply chain where exploit kits, credential stuffing tools, and ransomware are traded as commodities. This architecture allows threat groups to pool specialized resources, enabling low-skill actors to maximize their impact. Federal law enforcement now views these syndicates as highly organized cross-border operations, necessitating a macroeconomic approach to defense. This has led to increased international coordination, with agencies tracking large-scale ransomware operations as they threaten global infrastructure. The financial pressure is intensifying. Despite a slight drop in the total volume of on-chain payments, the median ransomware payment per victim has surged by 368%. The cybercrime as a service framework has successfully transformed technical exploits into a scalable and highly accessible business model. Generative AI is the specific operational accelerant that has enabled CAS syndicates to scale so rapidly. For example, threat actors are now using AI to generate functional, lethal malware code, removing the requirement for native programming skills. Using AI APIs, attackers execute polymorphic malware compilation. The binary payload continuously alters its signature to evade detection. Traditional detection systems struggle because they rely on known signatures. When the scan occurs, the payload has already mutated into a new mathematical identity. The same automation has hit the communication layer, where AI-assisted phishing has surged by 1,265%. These campaigns use hyper-personalized messaging to bypass secure email gateways. AI removes traditional spam indicators, like poor syntax or spelling errors, making them indistinguishable from legitimate communication. Because the threat can continuously mutate its mathematical and linguistic identity, static checkpoints often fail to recognize the breach until it is too late. We are now seeing a shift from generative tools to autonomous agentic AI. These agents execute offensive operations independently, sweeping across networks to illuminate vulnerabilities. These malicious agents perform reconnaissance and lateral movement across a grid without requiring human input at every step. They can scan SAS configurations and OAuth SOAPs at machine speed, identifying architectural misconfigurations in minutes. This has resulted in a drastic compression of the attacker dwell time. In many cases, the median time an attacker stays hidden has dropped from several days to just a few hours. These metrics demonstrate that human-speed incident response is no longer temporally capable of containing a machine-speed agentic attack. Modern defensive strategy is responding with a shift toward dynamic, streaming machine learning. This is User and Entity Behavior Analytics, or UEBA. Instead of looking for a signature, the system charts a baseline of normal behavior. When an agent attempts lateral movement, it creates a micro-anomaly. The system identifies this behavioral shift and isolates the threat immediately. Managing this requires a modern AI-powered security operations center designed specifically to process these behavioral streams. Data streams from SIM, EDR, and identity layers feed into a centralized AI triage engine. Multi-agent AI handles the triage, autonomously tracing alerts backward across the stack. By correlating these alerts, the system reconstructs the kill chain to identify the exact point of compromise. The empirical impact of this model is significant, with organizations reporting a 60 to 90% reduction in their mean time to respond. By automating the initial triage, this architecture also reduces the human analyst alert fatigue by more than 80%. This agentic defensive model allows organizations to match the speed and polymorphism of modern offensive AI. This brings us back to the central question: does AI inherently favor the attacker, or can defense maintain its ground? This dashboard compares offensive velocity against defensive contextual analysis. Attackers use AI to drive their velocity curve upward, focusing on automated scale and the rapid generation of new payloads. However, defenders use AI to break data silos and correlate deep contextual insights. As this analysis curve rises, it allows for faster containment that can eventually overtake offensive velocity. We see validation for this in DARPA's AI Cyber Challenge, which demonstrated that autonomous systems could successfully discover and patch software vulnerabilities at scale. These results suggest that the perceived attacker advantage is thus a byproduct of the transition period. When defenders operationalize AI at scale, the operational playing field begins to level. The final requirement for these autonomous systems is a strictly defined human-AI boundary. By treating detection logic as code, organizations ensure that human analysts verify and approve automated actions, maintaining auditability and preventing unchecked autonomous responses. This collaborative model uses AI to handle routine, repeatable triage while preserving human expertise for strategic thinking and complex adversarial problem-solving. If you find this information useful, please consider giving the video a like and subscribing. It helps us understand what content our viewers would like to see, helps our tiny little channel grow, and be found more in searches. As always, thank you so much for watching.